welcome back. Welcome back, Joan, who actually started us off.
I did.
Eve.
We started with Eve, and we're just rolling right through the Old Testament.
Oh my, we are.
It's fun.
It is, but it's kind of like this blurry Facebook of women who are. So now
we have a real anomaly today.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So tell us about.
We're talking about, at least we're starting in the beginning, to talk about the Shulamite woman. I'm so sorry she doesn't have a name, because she should have a name.
I agree.
She has more words than any of these other women we've talked about in the Bible, and according to this book, there's only one in the Apocrypha that has more words than she, and is not a nice person. This young lady, somehow or other, apparently has been invited by the king, who was Solomon, if you believe everything they write about it, to be among his harem, or whatever you would call it. But she is in love with a young shepherd, madly, passionately in love. And this whole book, the Song of Solomon, is her love song to him. And some of it is his back to her. And then there's sort of like this Greek chorus of people who every once in a while chime in.
Kind of appear on stage and then.
But most of it is this beautiful, beautiful love poem. And really that's how you need to read it. I mean, I think. And as a matter of fact, I went back and got my King James Version out because it's prettier in the King James Version. I mean, this one says, refresh me with apples. Well, boo, yes. The King James Version, comfort me with apples, is a phrase that everybody knows. The voice of the turtle is heard in the land. That's not the way it comes out in the translations. So I would suggest, if you want to read Song of Solomon or Song of Songs, go back and do it in the King James, because it's so beautiful.
And it's called the Song of Solomon because at one point they thought he had written it, or...
there's some speculation about that, but I don't think that no one knows who wrote it. It's unknown. Or when it was written, or if it isn't perhaps a compilation of love poetry of the time. But my question is, how did it get here? How did it get in the Bible? And I'm thinking, because it's so different and so kind of unrelated to anything else that's in there, is that maybe the Bible writers are doing all this gloom and doom and murder and war and horribleness, and they said, "Oh, we're going to lose our audience if we don't have a timeout here.
A marketing thing, yeah.
Let's put something in for refreshment for a while." So, possibly.
Yeah.
And of course, others use it as an allegory. You hear about it being an allegory about God's love for His people, or the relationship between God and Christ, although I find that a little difficult because it was written way before that. And also some speculation about it being I don't know, having something to do with the value of Christian marriage. And I have a lot of trouble with that, considering the fact that these two young people were not married. And whatever's going on with her and Solomon may or may not have been marriage. So I can't go there. So
in the relationship of Jesus to the church.
True.
And so frequently...
But the church didn't exist when this was written.
Right.
So
no.
That, I have a little trouble with that.
But Christians, especially those who take vows of they believe... Who was it who believed that she was married to Jesus? And he had given her a ring, a wedding ring, in a dream. Anyway, that was one of our early women mystics.
Yeah. So anyway, but it's just a beautiful piece of literature, and I think we should read it that way. Poetry, not prose.
What a refreshment after this
after
morning.
Before
we taped this, we were talking about the woman who ate her son. So it's like
difficult story.
Yes.
So we go on to we go back to the real thing, and where the next one is the wives and women of Pathos, who are apparently a group of of Hebrew refugees who've had to flee Jerusalem, and they are now in Egypt and living there. And they have a certain practice of worship that they do, which involves an individual called the Goddess of Heaven.
Mm.
And so Jeremiah is after them like mad because they're worshiping this goddess of heaven among the worship of God also. And they're baking what the book calls cookies. I don't buy that. The King James called cakes. These are cakes, and they're little goddess cakes, which I'm sure they offer to the goddess as some kind of, at least it's not animal sacrifice anymore, which is a big step up. So Jeremiah comes along and says, "You ladies, you're worshiping other gods, and this is a no-no." And they said, "Get out. We've been doing this back when we lived in Jerusalem. We're worshiping her, and she is a friend of ours, and she helps us, and we're going to keep on doing it. Go away." I kind of get what they're up to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
do
feel
too.
kind of sorry for them. They're trying to establish their culture. They're trying to keep what is meaningful to them for themselves and their families. And the husbands are going along with it, big time, which they continue to tell Jeremiah, because after all, if the wives are happy, the husbands are happy.
Yeah.
And husbands know this. So for them, it's fine. So
it's almost as if the women finally have said, we're tired of worshiping a patriarchal god, and we're just going to have this little side goddess who...
Of course, there's the other question, which is the whole movement that wonders if maybe God is a woman.
All right.
Maybe this is the early first sort of...
recognition that God was really not a he, but a she. And
she rules, not he rules.
And they were making cakes in honor of God, who they saw as a woman. Huh.
So, who knows?
Way to go, ladies. I mean, it's...
that. Yeah. So anyway, they keep on doing what they were doing, apparently. And we move right from there into the book of Daniel, whom we all remember as one of the favorite children's Bible stories.
Yeah.
But this story is about the Queen Mum, who is, what was her name? Well, we don't have a name for her either.
She's Belshazzar's mother.
Yeah.
Daniel 5.
And, but she was the queen of Babylon. She was Nebuchadnezzar's wife.
Oh, okay.
Which is a very influential position. And now she's a queen mum, and now her son rules, and her son is a big-time jerk, apparently. It's the same old story. You've got a very powerful father and a very disappointing offspring.
Yeah.
So he's having a big party, and he's got, of course, the Babylonians have taken everything that was Jewish, and he has got all of the good stuff out of the temple. He's got the gold plate, the gold cups, all of the fancy stuff, and he's throwing a big party for all his cronies. And they're eating off all of the stuff that came out of the temple and having a wonderful time, and everybody's getting totally drunk, and all of a sudden, a discombodied hand appears on the wall and starts writing on the wall. And the king stops and says, What is that? And in comes the Queen Mum, who knows everything, of course. Because she's very old, and she remembers back in the days when Daniel was telling her husband what was going on, when he couldn't understand his own dreams, and Daniel would come and interpret everything for him. So Queen Mum says to her son, you better get Daniel wherever he is, and he's the only one that's going to be able to tell you what this means. So sure enough, they go and dredge up poor old Daniel from somewhere. Hopefully the lions are long gone by now. And Daniel reads these words and says, here's what it means. It means you guys are bad news, and you're all gonna go. And there's nothing you can do about it. And sure enough, the next day, the king is dead.
Goodness.
So beware the handwriting on the wall. And that's it.
That's it.
I love Queen Mum.
Yeah, appearing in the middle of the party with a...
She just comes right in and says, I can fix things for you like I have all your life, Judy. But the answer was not one that I guess she was looking for. Who knows? We don't hear any more about her after this.
Yeah. But. And nor do we of him, because he dies...
Oh, he's gone in 24 hours.
Yeah.
He's history, so... Kind of fun stories this week,
Yeah.
I thought.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for a reprise of the Joan Rich story. I mean,
Yeah. Now I don't have to come to class.
Yes, you do have to come to class because you have to explain these people to us.
Okay. Well,
Thank you very much.
That's it.